there, I'm Ken, and you're watching Celt Can Cook, the Scottish cooking channel that encourages young men and women to have the confidence and competence they need to conquer the kitchen.
I spent a long time since I've done Asian food. I kind of feel a hankering for a cuisine that's not to my own culture. Aye, that's right. What some arseholes call appropriation, the rest of us call civilization. So, we're going to be looking at Mongolian beef. Oh, I can hear you now. All you just fainting on the other side of that camera, aren't you? Oh, it's a fantastic dish. It's meat, beef specifically, on a bed of rice, just covered in a delicious savoury brown sauce. Oh, it's fantastic. I couldn't taste it because I still got the COVID messed up taste buds, but I've been using this essential oil voodoo to try and get my taste buds back. Oh, it's fantastic. Life is awful. Drink to forget. Anyway, I love it. You're going to love it. Let's be about it, shall we? Alright, we're going to start with a nice flank steak or a skirt steak. Skirt steaks are cheaper and they're very good for the price. And we're going to trim some of this extraneous fat off. You want your fat inside the meat, not necessarily on the outside. Especially when you're chopping it up into wee bits like we're going to. Extra fat really kind of messes up the flavour and the texture of your beef. It doesn't actually add flavour. Now you see these nice long strips? That's called the grain. We're going to cut against the grain or perpendicular to it to get these nice long strips that have itty bitty little grains in between. See that? Maybe you can't see it so good. I'll show you again later. We're going to try and cut it all to about the same size. That way, it all cooks evenly and at the same rate and temperature. Oh, very good. All right, look how pink that is too. Okay, see, that's what I mean by short grain. That's going to be very tender in the mouth when you bite it. Now, we're going to add cornstarch to this because one of the best parts about Mongolian beef isn't just the sauce, it's the nice crunch you get from it. I'm using a strainer because the recipe I used said to use a strainer. I recommend just dumping a whole bunch of beef and cornstarch into a bowl and just kind of messing it up with your hands so it's all evenly coated. This, not the most efficient way to do it. But you want to get front and back and all around nice and coated. Do not salt this, it's going to be very salty. Alright, now while we let that sit for a wee bit, we're going to make our sauce. We're going to add a cup of soy sauce. I recommend reduced sodium. I didn't use that, it was very salty. Use reduced sodium when you can. A cup of beef broth, and several tablespoons of hoisin sauce. I was worried at first. I thought hoisin was a type of oyster sauce or seafood of some sort, because I'm allergic to seafood. But I did a wee bit of research online. There's no seafood involved whatsoever. So add, I think about 6 tablespoons of hoisin sauce to this particular recipe, because I use about 2 pounds of beef. And that kind of evens out. And then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of sesame seed oil. It's a very strong flavour of sesame seed oil, so do not go overboard with it, or it'll be terrible tasty. Trust me, I've done that before. We're going to heat up a skillet with a bunch of olive oil, or vegetable oil, or any kind of high temperature oil, really, I recommend. And we're going to just start adding beef to it. Do not overfill your skillet, because then it's just going to get too cold, and it's not going to get that nice, even cook that you want. Even this, I think I overcrowded my skillet. I should have done a wee bit less. Maybe half as much. Because, as you can tell, it does heat up, but it doesn't get nice and brown until much later. And that kind of made it so that I overcooked these a wee bit. See, this is much better. This is a separate batch. It's nice and brown, but the inside, very tender, very medium rare. Perfectly done. Now, to improve our sauce, we're going to add a wee bit of olive oil to a skillet, add a whole bunch of garlic, and some ginger paste. No, didn't come from me. And some chili flakes. Alright? And we're going to let that get a wee bit of colour to it. Just let it sit, keep stirring it, keep an eye on it. You don't want it to burn. Go from nice light white to a nice light brown. And then dump in your sauce to it. Let that come to a nice simmer. I should let that come to a bit more of a simmer here. But hey, live and learn, right? Because I wanted my sauce a wee bit thicker, I also added a wee bit of cornstarch because I wanted the sauce to stick to all my meat. It's fantastic. And then I like to make this with a nice batch of rice. I use the 2 cups of water, bring it to a boil, and then add your 1 cup of rice and let that just kind of cook-off. But, as some YouTubers who happen to simp for the Chinese Communist Party have said, you need a rice cooker to make rice proper. Well, I don't ascribe to that because I don't listen to anything communist sympathisers say. So, we're going to go the traditional route that I learned from my mum and dad, which is just bring it to a boil, dump your rice in. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Nice and simple. Alright, there you have it. It's Mongolian beef. Put it on a bit of rice. Add some toasted sesame seeds. As you can tell, it's not a very spicy dish. Wee bit of chili flakes, not very big. You can improve it with some sriracha sauce or some nice chili paste, some sweet chili paste. Oh, very good. If you feel like taking it in a Korean direction, add some gochujang. Very tasty as well. But anyway, I'm Ken. You're watching Celt Can Cook, the Scottish cooking channel that encourages young men and women to have the confidence and competence they need to conquer the kitchen. Oh, and we're all here wishing you a happy 2021. Good luck out there. It's going to be a wild one, I can tell. Always seeing you.